What's up, everybody, and welcome back to the Viewer Digression Podcast, the podcast where each and every week we decide if the fans and critics got it right. This week, we've got a wild card episode for you. It's Getting Beneath the Surface with Jake and Wil, seeing what makes us tick and seeing what we think is boring.
Let's hit the music, baby!
Boom!
I hated this movie. I hated this movie.
For the listener at home, we've got the music playing live.
Yeah, we usually don't do this.
Hated this movie.
So we can talk. Yeah.
It really doesn't get much better. It really doesn't get any much better than this.
I hated this movie.
I haven't brought up Sonic the Hedgehog nearly enough.
It's true. That's true. We should have a Sonic episode.
Yes, definitely. Oh, hello, everyone. Welcome to the Viewer Digression Podcast. We are here today with, as Wil said, an incredibly special episode where you will be getting to know Wil and I, the hosts, on a deeper level, fostering that sweet, sweet connection we know you crave.
Yes.
But before that, Wil, do you know my favorite way to start a podcast?
Nah, dude, I got no clue whatsoever. Put me on.
So it's a little thing I like to call the Jolly Update, which is when you and I share something from the past week. We're going to do a little bit differently this week, but something that brings us jolly vibes or something we want to say. Now, since this is a special wildcard episode of the Viewer Digression Podcast, I was thinking that we could remark, maybe have the final word on something that we have discussed in the prior 11 episodes, you know, from Wonder Woman 84 to the Snyder Cut. Is there anything you want to get off your chest? Anything that you were like, we recorded the pod, but I got something I want to say.
I just got to get back into my bag about Bridgerton because people don't get in my DMs or my text messages about anything except for the Bridgerton episode. Well, I get some shout outs for Hamilton, which I appreciate, but everyone's like, dude, you didn't like Bridgerton, but bro, come on, man. You didn't like, I get it. Like there were things. And I had a couple black people be like, oh man, I thought you had some good points, but like, is it easy for white people to like? And yes, it is easy for white people to like because I only had one issue with the issue of race in that show. And if you took that issue out, then it would be easy for everyone to like. But that issue is in there. And I think that generally speaking, most white people, and perhaps most people of color, perhaps I'm on an island, but that's totally fine. But if you erase the history of slavery in the UK, I'm gonna be offended, and I have no horse in this race because I am not from the UK. But I thought it was a race, and so that's my. Was that update very jolly? No, but hopefully you laughed. Well, so hopefully that's your jolliness.
Listen, it's jolly. Anytime someone invokes, "Am I on an island?" Maybe. That is, I appreciate that. Listen, I'm with you. Bridgerton, no good. And I was thinking about this the other day where I was like, man, if Bridgerton season 2 just like popped up on my Netflix, I would not be in a rush to watch it. I would not. I would let it sit. Like, yeah. I don't know if I'd watch it at all, honestly. But
I probably would only watch it just to see if they fixed the issues that I had.
Yeah.
Now I will say if that issue wasn't in there, I probably would have pushed the show to get at least a 7, but we gave it a 4.
That's right. The I've thought many times about changing this podcast to the is it better than Bridgerton podcast?
I've been trying not to ask that, but here we are. What do you got for us though, bro?
Okay, jolly update. So, we reviewed the Snyder Cut immediately after it premiered on HBO Max. So we didn't really get to like absorb the discourse surrounding the movie and kind of went in unfiltered in that way with our own judgments of it. And now that I've had a week to absorb the discourse, see what people are saying, Wil, once again, I am on an island. the same island I stay on when I talk about Batman v Superman, Dawn of Justice. Here I am defending Zachary Snyder once again. Wil, I feel like the chief complaints about this movie are bogus. And I just want to hit up a couple of things really quick. I just want to run through them.
For sure.
Okay, so the first thing I want to get off my plate is that like this movie is replacing the Joss Whedon Justice League movie, and that is good because because first off, we know that he is a creep, and people have been screaming about him like ruining their lives and terrorizing them. Yes. And the fact that we have this movie that highlights the performances of women and people of color that Joss Whedon cut out so that he could have a scene where the Flash doodles on somebody's face, so that he could have a scene where Batman is carried by a parademon through Gotham looking stupid. Yeah. Like, that's what we get. Like, it's honestly morally reprehensible. And when I listen to podcasts, I listen to podcasts, Will, that talk about the Snyder Cut. Podcasts that have many, many listeners, and they probably even get paid. Okay. And they don't even mention how Joss Whedon is like a horrible person, and they look at the two movies as if they're just two directors making different choices. And it disgusts me.
Oh yeah, that's you can't do that.
I don't
that's
like
no
it.
Good.
So and the other couple things I just want to hit really quick. The length, I think criticizing the length is stupid, because obviously if this were going to come out in theaters, Zack Snyder, it would be shorter. He would have cut it. But the whole point of this is that it's like an uncut thing for the psychos like me. And why can't you just let me have it? I want it to be 6 hours.
Dude, you know how many people I see, not to cut you off, but you know how many people I see on Twitter talking about, these are people who are like, if something is clearly not made for you, then your opinion is not as valid as someone who is the audience is made for.
Right.
These are the people who are also online being like, it's 4 hours? Why would I ever watch this? Oh my gosh. 12 minutes in, I don't like this. I gotta go.
I want to invoke Yadon Israel, newly named senior editor at Simon & Schuster, when he talks about the difference between writing to someone and writing for someone. And I think we see this a lot with like movies like Green Book, which are written, about Black people, but are written to white people.
Yeah.
And you know what I mean? And I just think there's like there is a question about who these things are made for. And I also want to, just invoking that 4 hour length again, the reason that movies are the length that they are is because of the theatrical experience. It's because theaters want to have so many showings in a day so that they can sell seats.
Yeah.
So when you're talking about, the movie's too long, because you've just been brainwashed by capitalism.
Right.
Like why can't a movie be that long? Why? Like, why not? Just don't watch it all in one sitting.
Yeah, it's a streamer. You can stop and start it. It even has chapters. You could watch it in 6 sittings if you wanted to.
Yeah. And anyway, lastly,
what's your
last thing I'm going to say about this is I got a lot. I'm glad this is a bonus episode, so I can get this all off my disgusting hairy chest. People keep dunking on the Wonder Woman song that comes in, the little ancient singing
cry
thing.
Yeah.
And I just want to point out to these dum-dums that can't read, like in Batman v Superman, and say the reason that they do this in the movie is because the movie wants you to notice it. And this whole movie is about the humans, the Atlanteans, and the Themyscirians, the Amazons, coming together, and they're different, in the same way that Kal-El is like an alien and he's different. And if you're going to divide these people, you need to do creative things that we do in cinema, like give people unique music and themes. So every time somebody notices that song and goes, "Oh, it's weird, I hate it," I'm like, no, you're just falling for it. It's just working on you. So drives me crazy.
I love that.
Yeah. So there it is. There's my defense.
That's a pair of solid Jolly updates if I ever seen them.
I think so. Now we're gonna transition now into the topic of the show. Okay.
Yes.
That was great. You know what? I thought that was going to be a little long. It's basically the exact amount of time we always spend on Jolly updates. It's crazy, Will. Every week I do this podcast and I go in and I put on our little marks where the Jolly updates are. It's always the same amount of time.
That's impressive.
It's so
I think we
weird.
went over like the first time and they were like, all right, we're going to cut ourselves down.
Right,
After that, it was chill from there. I was like, wow.
But so for the topic of the show, we're bringing on a guest. We're bringing on the first guest.
First
for the Viewer
Digression Podcast. Oh man, you guys excited? Can you hear the drum roll that I'm giving?
Ooh, I'm excited. I'm glad we were able to book her. I know she's got a very busy schedule. So we are bringing on today New York City writer, influencer, all around. I think a jolly vibes person, really.
Top tier person.
Top tier, dude. Sarah Lenhart. Sarah, say hello to everyone.
Hello, Jake, Wil. Good to see you.
Say hello to the friends and fans.
Hello, friends and fans.
Thank you. That's our
I have a very busy schedule. cooking Jake's meals and cleaning up our apartment. So
whoa! I do
lovely break in that.
You.
Sorry, I do a lot. Wait, no, I'm famously a cleaner.
You're a tidier, but I feel like I really get in there and get the stuff done. That
I don't agree with you. I do not agree with this.
I think I do more dishes than you.
Wow.
I definitely cook more than you.
Okay, can I say that you're responsible for more dishes than me? Okay, no, okay, we're getting off track. Okay. So Sarah is a big friend and fan of the Viewer Digression Podcast, of course, because she has to sit in our apartment while we record and only ever hears my side of the conversation. And then will go out of her way to listen to the whole podcast when it releases so she can hear Wil. Now, is this really just a compliment to Wil? Yes.
Totally.
Yeah, but
it's a dear compliment from my dear friend, though.
And it's funny, I'm definitely not your ideal demographic because I listen to a lot of like Brene Brown wellness people.
Well, we love Brene Brown.
Out of LA. Yeah, but this is my like fun podcast I listen to. It's like my light podcast.
Yeah.
Nice.
We only get heavy when we talk about like the Snyder Cut. That's like
right.
That's when I get tense. My butt is clenched. So Sarah, you have prepared interview questions for us, and you've got a bunch of them, and I know that much. But can you confirm to the friends and fans that I have not seen any of these questions?
Correct. I've not shown Jake.
Yeah.
I also feel I don't actually know any of your answers to these. Actually, this one, I know one of them.
Okay.
But so I'll be intrigued to hear what Jake has to say too.
Okay, great.
Ooh,
yeah.
Okay, nice.
So Sarah, before you reveal the first question, just talk a little bit about what you were thinking, where your head was at. What do you want to uncover in this interview?
Well, I feel like I know you and Wil very well, and I feel like the friends and fans deserve to know you and Wil very well too. Plus, I love the Jolly Updates section.
Yeah. I
love hearing about podcasters' personal lives. It's like oddly my favorite part of the podcast.
Yeah.
So this is like a true bonus for the listeners of the show.
All right, I'm a little nervous. You
should.
You guys are never getting this again until you become Patreon subscribers.
That's true.
Very fair.
This is a paid tier, baby.
Okay, can I get started?
Please.
All right. Some basic info.
Okay.
Where do you live now, and what is your dream city?
Whoa. Wil, take it.
Ooh. Oh my goodness. Currently, I'm in South Philly, 15 minutes away from. We had technical difficulties.
No, it's fine.
Currently, I'm in South Philly, where I was born and raised, and then I left for a little while, and now I'm back. My dream city. Honestly, for a while I was saying LA, but my man, Young Cornbread on Twitter, his name is Andrew Brown. He's from Boston, and he has some of the best slang I've ever heard in my entire life. And so if I ever had to pick a spot to settle down, I could never leave, it might have to be Boston because, like, if you don't want to do something or you're doing too much, they'll be like, that's a force, bro. That's a force. Can't do it. It's a force.
Yeah.
I'm like, never heard that before. So shout out to Boston. I hate your sports teams.
Yeah.
But I like your slang.
Yeah. Famously, Ben Affleck, a huge Boston sports fan.
This is true.
Love Ben.
So you'd move for the slang alone, though?
I'd move for the slang and the vibes and the food.
Slang is like, Sarah, you got to think about it this way. Slang is like real life. Slang is, you know what I mean? Like, we all talk about the things we want. It's like, oh, okay, I want to move to Los Angeles so that I can go to the beach every day. How many days am I actually going to the beach? But how many days am I telling people it's a force?
What an interesting argument.
I mean, like, I'm going to have to talk to people with this slang.
Right?
Yeah.
I mean, and I'm also like, if I have kids, like, they're going to have to hear this slang growing up. I don't want them to be hearing slang that I'm like, well, that's... Honestly, love Philly, but the Philadelphia slang, some of it is bad, and I'm just like, oh gosh.
Yeah, it's.
I don't want my kids to grow up.
Everyone in my high school, I think the Philly slang like trickled down, and that's what like all of us said at my high school. So I agree. Some of it is awful.
Yeah, some of it is pretty bad. So, but also, I mean, Boston, it's not too big of a city, but it's big enough. It's got a lot of history, so I like that. So yeah, I'm gonna say Boston for now.
I kind of thought you were gonna say New York because that's where you're trying to move.
This is true. But see, I probably would only live in New York max like another 6 years. And then after that, it's like, nah, it's over. So I don't know if it could be considered my dream.
Jake?
Yeah, so I'm living in the East Village right now, New York City, baby, licking the streets, fully vaccinated.
Hey, we love the vaccinations.
I want to be a part of it. Yeah. So that's where I am right now. Feeling like it's not a forever hang. I'm somebody that's just not super geographically tied, never have been. Don't put a lot of emotional sentiment in my location. It's all about the people, the communities, the food. Stuff that's important. So whenever this question comes up, it's like the same thing when people are like, where do you want to get married? I'm like, dude, I don't care. So it's stuff like that. But I've recently been thinking, I'm like, maybe I just haven't really had like my heart taken by a place I've lived in yet. And I was thinking the other day, I was like, man, I wonder if something ever happened in my life where I got to move to another country and it would do it for me. If I would experience something that I don't even know I want right now, something I don't even know what I'm looking for. So, and that's what I think it would have to take, because I think everywhere I move right now, it's kind of like known quantities, what I'm getting and what I'm going to find there. Yeah. And maybe there's something that I can't even comprehend right now that I would go, man, how did I live without this before?
So it's a great point.
It's kind of a baloney answer, but
you mentioning overseas makes me be like, you know what? I would love to live in Dublin. Oh man, yeah, Dublin just seems like a great spot.
Yeah, no, you just love Irish people. That's
I love my Irish homies. Yo.
That's hilarious.
I love my Irish homies. Oh man.
Wow. Yeah, I've got a friend moving to Denmark soon and another friend moving to London soon, and I'm so jealous of both of them.
Nice.
Yeah.
But would you live permanently? And don't let the fact that I'm your girlfriend influence this question. Would you live permanently in another country?
Okay, so I haven't done anything permanently for my entire life, so I don't even know what that means.
Very fair.
I don't, you know what I mean? But like, would I tell myself for as long as I can see into the future, this is where I'm gonna hang? I think so. I think so.
That's dope. That was a good one.
Yeah.
Okay, next question.
Okay.
Who were you in high school?
Oh, shit. Whoa. Okay, I'll take. Okay, well, yeah, I'll take this one. I was as a young warthog. I was incredibly. It's funny. I told that story on which show was it that I told that? Oh, it was the Gossip Girl.
Gossip Girl one.
Yeah. I've talked a little bit about high school in the past, but I was a controversial figure. I was polarizing. The people that loved me, and they didn't understand why the people that hated me. But oh boy, did those people hate me. So it was. I think I had a lot of questions that I didn't that I needed to answer about myself and about my identity, that where I grew up just like wasn't prepared to answer for me. And I think like looking back, I realize how much I think I used how in different social circles I would use the fact that I was Latino to shield that I was Jewish, and then later use the fact that I was Jewish to shield that I was Latino. And how like based on the people around me, it was kind of this game of like looking for mutual acceptance and understanding, and like really, really wanting that. And then kind of growing up and realizing that like if I have to work that hard for mutual acceptance and understanding, then it's not worth it. So I think like to answer your question, Sarah, I was somebody that like needed to grow up but didn't know it.
Did you think you knew everything?
And I thought I could figure anything out. And I was a little bit of a hot shot. I had a lot of like early success. And
you on the baseball team?
And oh yeah. Listen, I was doing everything, baby. And
you had like one great week of being a baseball star, and then something like ruined it.
Yes, no, never forget. This is. I famously am bad at hitting. My dad talks about this sometimes, and where there was like 1 week on the baseball team where I was like a freaking animal, dude. And I literally remember going to a game and like telling my dad like I'm gonna hit like a home run today, and I did like a psycho.
Nice, love it.
But otherwise, I don't know. Like looking back, I think it was a little more just because I kind of forced it this way. A very like kind of picturesque growing up in high school. Didn't have any like huge problems, but it also like wasn't perfect. Had like the high school girlfriend that I went to prom with that I don't talk to anymore, and it's all very much like of course it's that kind of existence. Yeah.
Word. Okay, gosh, who was I in high school? I think by the end I was pretty popular, although I felt like I didn't like most of the people who enjoyed me.
Right.
Like, I was well liked, but I was like I have like 3 or 4 friends. Yeah. Everyone else.
Classic.
Well, that's still you now.
Yeah. God. Don't out my man. Do not out my man.
No, that's true. That's true though. Sarah's on to something. But yeah, it was weird. High school was a time. Most of my professors liked me. And gosh, I ran track, which was fun.
What were
But I
your
wasn't.
track events?
Good question.
I used to kill the 4. I used to run like a 52 in the 400 meter, and I wasn't even trying that hard because I wasn't good at track. Because I would be like, I'm not going to practice today. I'm too cool for that. I don't feel like running.
You know, I don't know why I even asked the question, because unless you said the long jump, I would have no idea like what event you were talking
That's
about.
so
And I
funny.
still don't know what you said.
Wait,
So the 400 is just a single lap.
Yeah.
Got it. Okay.
Well, tell me a single story, for instance, that happened to you in high school where you're like, this is it. This was me. Because I'm sure you have one.
Oh God. Jeez, do I? Man, what? Well, my first. Did I ever tell you what happened on my first day of high school?
Your first day of high school?
Mm-hmm. First day of freshman year.
Here we go.
So I pull up to St. Joe's Prep. I'm a little freshman, 14 years old. I'm probably like 5'4" in my little suit because you had to wear a suit. Get there. It's an orientation day, so they're just taking us to different classes, showing us the buildings, showing us all this other stuff. You get to the end of the day, right? And they got us all inside the field house where they have like 20 basketball courts because it's huge. They spent like $30 million on this like a few years ago. And it's actually better than the St. John's basketball court. Like way better than the St. John's basketball court. But anyway, they were like, all right, everyone just sit around. The seniors are going to come out and talk to you guys about some stuff. This is all boys school, mind you. So it was all just guys. And there was a couple basketballs sitting around. So we're just shooting around.
Really
and
scared.
Here we go, dude.
You should be scared. You should be
introduced
scared.
the basketballs, and I'm like, oh no, dude, not a prop.
So I was like, shoot, I gotta let these people know who I am. I gotta make sure they remember me. Bet you I can jump up and grab the rim, which was true. I could do at the time.
Whoa.
So I jumped, and as soon as I jumped, my right leg broke in 2 places.
Whoa.
Because I had a hairline stress fracture that I thought was just shin splints.
So
and
from the jump?
From the jump. Because I landed on the good leg because my bad leg was already broken.
Wow.
Wait, this is day 1 of high school?
Day
Oh my
one,
God.
bro.
So little Wil Turner shows up with his first day of high school drip and says, "Hey everyone, look at me."
And then breaks his leg.
I can't handle this.
And it has to call for the teachers like in pain, like ah.
Oh my God.
Oh man,
so
that was
good.
a time. How long do you think I spent in the wheelchair after that? Because I was in a wheelchair for the first
so long, like
2
till
months.
Thanksgiving.
Yeah.
Till
Oh my
Thanksgiving.
God.
Yeah,
Wow. Wheelchair kid.
people foolishly thought that I was like paralyzed.
Yeah, of course.
But my right leg was in a cast and like up.
They're just like, nah, he ain't coming back. He ain't coming back from that.
No, like in October when they saw me in the wheelchair, they were like, "Bro, damn, I didn't know. Like, I didn't think the school was accommodating for people who were like permanently, differently abled." And I was like, "I'm not though, but okay."
Wow.
Good looking out, my man.
Yeah. So a lot of people thought I was 6 feet tall until I stood up for the first time, and then I
Wow.
feel myself to be short.
Wow.
Oh, I hadn't thought about that. The first standing up from the wheelchair.
Wow, I'm so glad I asked. Dude, it's like when you only know people over Zoom and then you meet them in real life for the first time.
It's so weird.
Happened to us the other day.
Yeah.
Whoa, dude.
Crazy.
You never know what you're gonna see.
Yeah. So that was my first day. But I mean, I got to take a taxi to school every day. That was cool, and I got to ride the
That
elevator.
is cool.
Wow.
And everybody knew who I was, starting off that way. But then I eventually learned all 243 of my classmates' names. So
that's incredibly you.
Yeah, for real.
Yeah.
I did not know those people. I'm so glad
I was
I
the guy.
that story.
I was the guy who had to walk down the hallway and be like, "Yo, what's good, Matt? Yo, what's good, John? Yo, what's happening, bro? Hey, man, you going to 4th period right now? Heard you." Yeah, it was basically me every day.
Nice.
Yeah, you're like the mayor.
The mayor, dude. Mayor Wil, I love that.
All right, should we move on?
Yeah, please, Sarah, please.
Okay, this one is in theme with viewer digression.
Oh,
and I was curious about this for you both. If you could land your dream acting role in a movie, what would it be? And the movie could be a movie that has already been made and they've cast someone else, or it could be like a franchise you're waiting for them to make into a movie, or like an ambiguous character. So yeah.
Wow. All right, I've got one queued up. Do you?
No, I don't.
Okay. Let me hit you with this. So here's what I'm thinking. The first thing that came to mind was how outside of the realm of reality am I allowed to go with the answer to this question?
That's really interesting.
And yeah, that was the first thing that hit me because I was like, okay. Obviously, I want to be a superhero.
Right.
Obviously.
Yeah.
And it was like, if I had my pick, if I could be anything, I would obviously be like, okay, Warner Brothers is going to have to put some money in. They're going to have to get some trainers. They're going to have to make me swole. They're going to have to make me ripped.
But they do that for people.
No, they do that.
So
No, that's fine. That's fine. No, that's not the problem.
Yeah.
The problem is that they think it'll be fine after I get swollen and ripped. And then they realize that my Jewy qualities are simply still there.
Right.
And I'm like, now could I be Connor Kent Superboy? And I think I could. And here's how. If Jesse Eisenberg is still Lex Luthor in this scenario, then I'm fine. Then I'm fine. Because then for those that don't know, Connor Kent Superboy, the clone, 50% Superman's DNA, 50% Lex Luthor's.
Whoa.
Yes. So you could explain. You could, yeah, right.
Actually, this is genius.
No, okay.
Yeah.
So there's a way.
Man,
there's
you're
a
lucky
way.
they cast Jesse Eisenberg.
No, right. So if you get me, and here's the thing, he's just Superboy. He like doesn't have to be like, you know, jacked to all hell. He's just got to be like a muscular man.
Yeah.
So I could get there. So I think, yeah, my answer is I want to be Connor Kent Superboy. I don't want to be like I'm college aged and I'm like trying to find my way. I'm like going to journalism classes because I want to be like Clark Kent, but I hate it. And then I'm going to science classes and I'm really, really good at it. And it freaks me out because I'm like, oh shit, dude, I'm like Lex Luthor.
Whoa.
Yeah. And like the more stuff I keep doing, it's like, I'm like, oh man, dude, it's like, that's what I want. I want the Connor Kent going to college, having weird parties, hookups, going to classes, dude, just like doing some, like, you know, people, has a weird incident, now people want him to be on the football team or something.
Love it.
I would campaign for it to be the baseball team so I looked like I knew what I was doing.
It's not like a show.
Oh wait, that's way better. That's way better. No, obviously I want it to be a show. Obviously, yeah. And then and all I want is I just like want one scene with Henry Cavill where he comes over to me and he puts his hand like on my head and he's like, "You're a good kid." And that's like all I want. That's it. And then I'm done, dude. Cancel the show.
Henry Cavill is dad.
Yeah. And then the director says cut and we hug.
Love it.
Yeah.
That's a wrap.
Yeah.
That's amazing.
Thank
Amazing.
you.
Okay. In that vein, I think that Disney should remake the first 3 Star Wars movies, 1, 2, and 3, and they should cast me as Anakin Skywalker, and they should make the movies way better.
Will,
I think you'd be
this is a great idea.
Great Anakin Skywalker.
I can see it. That's a great. I'm in. Wow, dude, sold. Anakin's my favorite Star Wars character.
Same, bro.
Sorry, Will. I did not like those movies.
Well, they're not good. That's why.
They're not good.
Yeah, okay, good. I just couldn't get past the 90s of it all. It was awful.
But the idea of Anakin Skywalker is so good.
He's a really compelling character,
dude.
Yeah.
I feel like if you could make the Star Wars world a little more human-y, just like you don't even have to make it more human-y, but just show people doing like normal stuff that aren't, you know what I mean? Like what are normal people doing? Show me somebody in Star Wars like going to a movie.
Yeah.
Oh my god, dude. And have me let me see Anakin Skywalker go to a movie.
Interesting.
Dude.
Instead of talking about sand?
Yes. No, just be make him a little bit normal so that you can connect to him like you know, Anakin Skywalker a lot like Hamlet, I think.
Yeah.
And I think an issue people have with Hamlet when they read it, especially in high school, is that they can't connect to him. And I'm like, guys, you have to understand. It's like he's like this kid that keeps whining on MySpace. It's like that's all he is.
Funny,
it's like, yeah. So no, I totally see that for Anakin, dude. Wow.
I love that.
I love it.
Okay, so
wait, Sarah, were you satisfied with those answers?
Oh yeah, and then next question, same question, but dream directing job.
Oh, directing.
Yeah.
Directing.
Not starring in, but directing.
You know what? I don't have one of these off the dome, to be honest with you.
I would think yours would just be like a Superman movie.
Yes, but you know what it is actually? Oh no, I've got it. I would want to direct a Teen Titans movie in which a bunch of my friends are the actors.
That would be really fun.
That's what I would want. A Titans movie, so I can like cast all my friends that are actors.
Aww.
I want like Nate in there. I want Abram in there. You know what I mean? I just want like to have like those people be the Titans, and I feel like I could have good roles for them too. Actually, Nate would be a good Robin. Actually,
Aw.
he actually would. He'd be a good older Robin. Wow, I gotta hit Nate up and be like, Nate, dude, what are you
Maybe
doing?
That can be your thing. You do.
Nate, what are you doing? So I think I'd want to do a Titans thing. Yeah, I think that's like because like do I like really want to direct a Superman thing? Yes, obviously. But in that scenario, I'd also want to be like I'd want to write the script more than I would want to direct it.
That's really interesting to know.
Yeah. Huh. So because that's the kind of control I would want over it.
That makes sense.
Whereas like, do I have the honestly, if I wrote the script, I'd be happy to give it to like Zack Snyder, to be honest with you.
Yeah.
Because he's got a directorial eye that I don't have.
Right.
Yeah. But whereas with a Titans thing, where they're a little lower to the ground, they're a little more kind of like what I was saying about Anakin, they're a little more normal. I can have the Titans go to a movie. Like I could shoot that. I think I could do something. You know what I mean? I think I could direct my friends and like get some good stuff out of them. Yeah. That's my answer.
Yeah. I think for the longest time I've been saying give me a Star Wars trilogy. Specifically, let me get The Old Republic with Revan. But I think actually I would love to direct. I think they're doing it. We talked about this off the pod. They're doing as a TV show now, but give me the Red Rising trilogy to direct. I think I could do some stuff with that. That'd be a lot of fun. Pierce Brown, hit me up.
Sci-fi guy through and through.
Yeah, I love that.
Yeah.
That's so good.
Where's that come from?
Ooh.
I mean, my earliest memories of watching Star Wars, A New Hope. Well, one of my 3 earliest memories. The other 2 are not so happy. So I claim that was my earliest.
That's your answer, yeah.
And so that's probably why, yeah.
Aw.
Cool.
Okay.
Wow, I'm loving this, Sarah. Great questions.
Question.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. I don't know if you'll have an answer to this.
Is this a transition from what we've been talking about?
Yes, it's a transition. Okay. If so, I'm curious.
Yeah.
What song was playing during your first kiss?
Whoa.
Oh, sheesh.
If all right. Any song.
Spotify.
I got to really take myself back right now.
Because, probably songs were playing in all of our first kisses.
My first kiss went a little like this. No, there was no song playing during my first kiss. I'm sorry.
Was it outside?
It was.
Yeah, that's probably the only reason there wouldn't be a song playing. Right. Don't you think?
Yeah, I guess so.
You know what mine was? And this will probably date me as to when it happened, but Party Rock Anthem. Party Rock! Dun, 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 dun. It's from like 2011 with the dancing robot who's doing the SpongeBob and those 2 mixed guys.
Very
you don't know this?
Very upbeat energy for
It was in the summer, and I was also outside, but that was the song of the summer, so people were just playing that. Everyone was on the radio.
I love the song of the summer as like a qualifier. As a qualifier. It's so funny, dude. It's such a real thing, but it's just hilarious. Yeah. I think, Sarah, honestly, I'm pushing back a little bit because now I'm just thinking about like kissies in general, and I'm like, how much is music playing during kissies?
In the car, you definitely have music.
Oh, like when you're that age.
Yeah, like hanging out in some parent's basement. Like there's definitely music on.
Truth or Dare during a cast party.
Yeah, exactly. Oh, you completely get my vibe.
Whose first kiss song is "Fools Fall in Love"?
Whoa.
from the Elvis musical.
Yeah.
Well, also from Elvis, but I was thinking cast parties.
Man, dude, cast parties. Sarah, you got a question for us?
I sure do.
Okay.
Which family member are you closest to, and why?
Extended family or only within the unit?
Whatever you want. Family, any blood relative or adopted relative you're closest to.
Dope. You want me to take this one first?
Yeah, please.
Probably my cousin Cha-Cha. She's 17 years older than me, but we're first cousins. That's because her mom and my mom are sisters, but they're also like 18 years apart. And she just always looked out for me. She's the first person to ever believe in me that I could be a writer. First person to ever believe that I like had talent and stuff like that. She used to watch me a lot when I was a kid. When my sister was being born, one of the people I stayed with was Cha-Cha. But she also knows how to properly tease me in a way that I'll just laugh without being like, you're ribbing me. So yeah, probably my cousin Cha. Shout out to Cha.
Dude,
Cha.
cousin love is real.
Yes.
I feel like there should be a
1000%.
stronger word for it though, because cousin, like you could have so many cousins.
That's a fact. I have 30 first cousins, so.
Yeah, exactly.
You want to like stratify the cousins like these? Okay,
Yeah,
these are my top
these
tier
are the
cousins.
good cousins.
These are my primos. You know, these
Yeah,
are my
exactly.
yeah. No, I
yes, I have a list. I ranked them at one point.
Well, question for you then. I've got a follow up. So you've got a big family then.
Yeah, my mom is the youngest of 9 children, and my dad is the third of 5 children.
Okay, so here's my question for you. When I've been having this conversation since I was in like middle school, when like girls will get together and they'll talk about their dream wedding, and every girl like kind of wants to seem modest, so they'll say, "I want a small wedding." Sarah, have you experienced this?
Saying it?
No, seeing it.
Come
on.
Okay, sure.
Yeah, that's
sure.
right. You're there. There. You're complicit in this as well now. So, but I'm always like, guys, you can't have small weddings because you have families.
Yes.
And so, Wil, do you feel like there's an obligation for like right off the top your wedding? There's like 50 people that are in.
See, I've always I think about marriage maybe more so than men my age do.
Sure.
But I've always wanted a big wedding. So probably there's about 50 people who get in, but I'm also the petty king. So I need to have a big wedding in which I invite a bunch of people.
Yeah.
But I specifically don't invite the people I don't like.
Oh, Wil, that's so good.
And some of them are my cousins, and some of them are my aunts or uncles.
Wow.
But they're not getting the invite.
No.
Hearts are gonna break.
But they see the posts. They know.
Exactly.
They know what's going on.
Exactly.
Oh,
it needs to be bombastic and huge. It needs to be the greatest moment of all time.
I love that.
So, well, I love this. You've always wanted a big wedding.
Oh yeah.
I never hear that from people.
It just seems so fun. I mean, I've been to a lot of big weddings, and even the ones that aren't fun, I'm like, this is still a good vibe.
Dude, weddings are like going a little out of style right now in my circles.
Come?
Dude, in my circles, everybody's like just trying to prove a point.
Yeah, about like the amount of money it costs and
yeah, and it being like a relic of past stupid
the
thing.
patriarchy and
whatnot. Yeah. Which
I mean, there's points, but
you know, they're not
also
wrong.
like you can reclaim it.
That's the thing. I'm more interested in reclaiming.
But you feel like we have so little like tradition in our modern culture. Like when else? It's like weddings and funerals and like baptisms. I don't know.
Yeah. No, you're 1000%
by
correct.
far the coolest one out of that list.
You know, the point I made to somebody recently was like, it's not that we've got to make it's not that we have to cancel the wedding, is that we have to make it like less of a negative reaction when people get divorced.
Oh yeah, true that.
And that's like just normalize, like just make it chill. Like if people get divorced, it's like, hey, congrats, no big deal. You know what I mean?
Interesting.
Yeah.
Hopefully it was fun while it lasted.
Yeah, right, exactly. Because divorce should not be a bad thing, friends and fans.
Right.
Everybody in this scenario should be getting what they want.
Yeah.
So you know what I mean? So it's like if you do that, then I think the weddings are fine.
Sometimes I feel like I like grow up only in time for the thing I like have always wanted to like go out of style.
Fall out of style.
Yes, it's not fair.
That's
like then why did everyone shove like dreams about weddings down my throat when I was a little kid?
Oh, that's funny.
To grow up and have this reaction. I'm pro wedding for the record.
Are you also pro low-rise jeans?
No.
Okay.
But I'm glad the crop top came back because that was definitely like, you know, a Britney Spears moment when I was a little kid, and then it came back.
Oh yeah.
Oh
yeah.
Shout out to Britney.
Dude, fighting for her life out there.
Yeah. Rooting for her.
Sarah has a question for me. Yes.
What family member are you closest to?
Oh, right. Definitely my dad. Shout out, Pops. You know, I talk to my older brother like almost every day because we're just out here chatting about video games and hanging and stuff. But you know, my dad's one of the few people that I will occasionally hit that call button with no plan.
Yeah.
I'll occasionally hit that call button just for something to do.
Yeah.
And that's there's a closeness there. You know what I mean?
Totally.
There's like no expectation. Sometimes I'm just like, hey, what's going on? I don't know.
Yeah.
And then you know, we'll talk for like 2 minutes, then we'll get off the phone, and I won't feel bad about it at all.
Love it.
Yeah. So definitely
that's amazing.
Shout out.
Yeah. There's only like maybe 12 people in the world I could do that with.
Plus, he's listening to the pod.
Yes. Shout out to Pops.
Yeah, he's listening to the pod, dude.
Love it.
Yeah, he's a friend of fan.
He reads my newsletter.
Oh, yeah, he's definitely
He's one of my core followers.
Oh, cool. Yeah.
Yes.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, definitely. Okay. What do you got next for us, Sarah?
Okay, next. Ooh, this question. Is there any female gender norm that you envy?
Yes.
And which one and why?
Immediately, yes. Immediately. Okay, let me get on this. Okay.
You go. Okay. You got it.
All right. So, as the male identifying member of a cishet relationship, it is
Is this about you lifting things?
Yes. Yes. It is implied that I will do the literal heavy lifting. And
Jake is pissed because I had him open a jar of spaghetti sauce like an hour ago.
I just think in any other room of human beings, and when something needs to be lifted, when something needs to be, no one is looking at me going, "That's the one." He's get over here, Jake. Ridiculous. I just want people to stop considering me for things like this. You know what I mean?
Oh my God.
So until WB pays for me to get swole, I don't want this. Because Sarah, when I open the jar for you, it's not an act of strength. I get the knife in there and I wait for the air to pop. You know what I mean? And then I'm using my big boy brain out here, and I don't understand what you're laughing at, Sarah. So so there's that, and also like okay. No, okay, let me hand it over to Wil. I want to swim in this a little bit. Yeah.
Okay. I think this is lessened for me as time has gone on, but I definitely do dislike the fact that only, as far as like the mainstream will say, only men are expected to make the first move. That's really annoying to me.
Interesting.
Especially because sometimes it takes me a minute to be like to catch feelings. I'm just trying to see who you are, but I've been told in the past by several women, "Oh yeah, I liked you from the moment." And I was like, "Well, you should have said something. Then I could have maybe figured stuff out a little quicker." But it's not how it goes.
That's interesting. I feel like we could unpack that one for hours.
Yeah, it doesn't annoy me as much as it used to when I was a youngin.
Well, because I think it kind of both goes both ways, because I feel like part of that is that women are not empowered to make the first move.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, for sure.
What I mean? And so there's like some weird thing going on.
Part of it is like an expectancy for the guy to make the first move because it's like
it's proving something
attractive.
Yeah.
So
it's proving something.
Yeah. Sarah, would you ever make the first move?
I think I have many times.
Whoa.
But I don't know. Yeah. Jen, I will say you're right, like things are changing, but from my personal history, I don't know, if you're usually having to make the first move, like you're probably also like picking up the check on the first date and then like breaking up a year later. I don't know.
Bringing home the bacon, if you will.
I don't know. It sometimes relates to other traits, but
well, let me ask you this.
My dated history.
Yeah. Okay.
Let me ask you this. I have a question. Does the man always have to pay for the first date? I have a specific opinion about this. I have a specific opinion about this, but I want to hear what you guys have to say.
Wil, this is funny because I just discussed this at www.pottybreakwithjake.com on one of my daily updates. It was the topic of the show yesterday. And the answer I kind of came down on is that I think there's this kind of fake opinion that like equality means men and women having like the same rules, but that's not true, because we live in an unjust society where like women are out here making like 80 cents on the dollar compared to what men are making and stuff like this. So if your way of practicing equality for women is saying like you got to buy your own shit, I'm starting to question where that sense of equality is coming from. So yeah, and I also looked it up, and apparently like 80% of guys are gonna just like pay that check on the first date. And honestly, I'm out here trying to signal to the women that I'm not one of these like weirdo 20%ers.
Yeah.
That's like kind of my prerogative on it. So that's kind of where I come down on it.
Yeah, that's my feeling is like I do think on the first date, hugely strong offer to pay. Like you probably need to just pay. But then after the first date, I don't think it matters at all. That's when I think it gets weird. But I feel like on the first date, it's like, honestly, like a gesture kind of like of masculinity. I don't know. So,
whoa.
Yeah.
Interesting. You guys want to hear my rule?
Yes.
Yeah.
All right. So once or twice I have been approached first by the woman, and I always appreciated that. So the rule is, if I ask you out to a place, then I'm going to try my darndest to pay for the first date. If you ask me to go somewhere, we're splitting it. If it was your idea, you can't expect me to cover the bill, because I don't know how much it's going to cost. You knew how much it was going to be, but I didn't. But if I suggest a spot, then I'm going to pay for it.
Well, I totally agree. I covered this a little bit on the potty break last night, but it was like, Sarah, when you were coming into New York and hanging out with me, we're going out to places because I live here that are New York prices. I can't be making Sarah come hang out with me and then forcing her to pay for whatever dumb thing it is I decide that we're gonna do.
Yeah,
That's
I mean, if she picks a 5-star restaurant, you think I'm trying to cover a $700 bill?
No.
If I pick a 5-star, all right, then I knew what I was getting myself into.
Yeah, honestly, if she picks a 5-star without telling you and suggesting that and taking you there, don't pay.
Well,
because
then she's not
a good girl.
She's not getting a second date, Sarah.
Yeah, exactly.
No, she's not getting a second date.
She's trying to get something out of you then.
Yeah. But like all things that of this nature that we discuss, I feel like they could just all become eternal non-issues if we were just like, hey, so here's how I feel about it.
Oh yeah,
you know what I mean?
That's a fact.
Classic, dude. But we're not doing that out here.
The thing that we don't like is when men try and use the line of like, I thought this is what you wanted. Like, don't you want to be equal? So I'm not going to pay for you. Because it's just an excuse. No one has ever said that because they mean it in their hearts. Like, that's just an excuse so they don't pay.
No, that's true. That's a fact.
Love saving that $7 in the name of equality.
Before we move on, did you think of, Jake, another female gender norm? Because you seem like you had something on the brain.
Yeah, I did. I wanted to figure out how to say this the way I want to say it without, I don't know. I just feel like you guys have way more going on with like fashion and style than we do.
Yeah.
And it's like so easy for men to like diverge from like if I wear a certain thing, all of a sudden my masculinity is called into question.
Interesting.
My gender and sexuality is literally like on the line. That's depending on what I wear.
Yeah.
And you guys don't really have that as much.
No, I wear your jacket like everywhere.
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
And that kind of like bugs me. It just as a creative person, but also just like, I don't know, man. When guys are walking around in packs, like wearing the same outfit, it freaks me out.
Yeah, totally.
I think there's like a little bit of like, you know how there are those studies that show like kids that wear school uniforms, it will actually like encourage them to behave a certain way.
Yes, right.
If we broke up what was like acceptable for men to wear, if there wasn't a masculinity uniform, would that have effects on the psyche? Maybe.
Ooh,
would you know what I'm thinking? Like in terms of like mob mentality and like thinking as a pack, like that kind of So just throw that out there.
See, this is actually the one I kind of had in mind when I asked you guys this question.
Oh, really?
Yeah, because it's the one I'm the most curious about because, I don't know, it's like we all wear clothes, but it's so much more money in the industry and attention and care is put into women's clothes.
Yeah.
Like, I think about big fancy events and like how exciting it is to wear like one of so many options of dresses, and then like guys all have to wear like the same tux. Doesn't that suck?
Nah, it's ass. It's so terrible.
Yeah.
You could wear a nice watch. Psych.
Yeah, right.
Dude, psych indeed.
Maybe get bold and wear like a white tux, you know?
No, dude, don't no. Yeah. It's dude, we're just getting ready to be in the military, dude.
Honestly.
Okay, another question. In elementary school, what extracurricular period were you best at? So in my elementary school, there was like one slot of time where we'd go from like gym, and then the next day we'd have library, and then we'd have art and music class. Did you also have this?
Yeah.
Okay, which were you best at?
Gosh, I was horrible. The worst student in history at art class. My God. Yeah. So it definitely wasn't that. I was pretty good at computer class.
Huh.
Dude, my answer is 100p library as well, because that's where we did computers. And I was good at well, let me tell you a story about how bad I was at art class. So we were just talking about my actor friend Nate. If anybody's filming anything, cast Nate, he's a great guy. Nate was always really talented in terms of art. And I remember there was an art class I was in where Nate's drawing was held up and my drawing was held up, and the teacher goes, you see how Nate's is all different colors and he's using shading and he's doing, okay, now look at Jake's is all one color. Aww. You don't want to do it like Jake. And I was literally the example. I was the example of the Donnie don't. I was the dunce.
Donnie
How'd you get away with that?
Dude, I was literally like, you were one step away from giving me a dunce cap.
Yeah.
Like you were right there, dude. Couldn't believe it happened. But no, I loved computer class. I remember when the library lady was like, all right, dude, I'm going to tell you guys about something hip, new to the scene. It's called Google.
Whoa.
Yeah.
You remember that?
Yeah, I remember when Google wasn't that good.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, it was like what? Yeah, all right. There was nothing to see out there. There was nothing,
I was pretty good at gym though, just to differentiate. Like we had to do like what was it, the president's test or whatever. We only had to do that 1 year, 8th grade. But I was cooking people in those tests.
Did you guys do like jump rope for heart or something?
Yeah, I'm pretty bad at jumping rope though.
I never did any of these things. I never did No, I think I somehow dodged all of this stuff given my like particular age group or something.
All I know is the stretches that my elementary school gym teacher taught me are still good stretches. Like all the classic hands to your feet and touch your toes. Yeah, exactly.
My high school gym teacher gave me a definition of physical fitness that I'll never forget because I thought it was profound. He said, physical fitness, being physically fit, is having enough energy to do everything you want to do in a day. And I was like, whoa, dude.
I love it.
Whoa, what like a body positive way of thinking.
Totally. Yeah.
Like what a like forward, like I kept that with me, dude, that whole time.
Now I 1000% agree with that because I'll tell people like, bro, I'm just not in my and that means something different for everyone.
Yeah.
And for me, a lot of times I'm not in shape.
Right.
Yeah, I need a little more energy.
Yeah. Yeah, that's why I like it because it's hyper individualized and it's about like your perspective and what you want. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay,
please.
I was thinking 2 more questions.
Okay, great. That's perfect.
Okay, great. All right, pick one. Astronaut, movie star, president of the United States.
Astronaut.
Whoa.
It was the first thing I ever wanted to be. I wanted to be an astronaut. And then I went to church one Sunday, and my evil Aunt Gladys said, humans aren't meant to go into space. But she's always been a hater, and she will never be invited to my wedding.
Oh my god. No, it's my Aunt Gladys.
Oh, man.
So, astronaut.
Wow. Okay. My distrust and disgust of the bourgeoisie does not let me say movie star. I immediately was like, that's not an option. And then my brain goes, okay, I don't really want to be the president, but is this like the morally correct decision? Because I think I could do some good.
I think you could get in there for 4 years, like
I think I can make
overturn a lot of stuff and then bounce.
Yeah, I think I can make something happen.
Yeah.
A short pitch on my presidency would be that I want to be the most forward-facing president of all time. I want to do live streams where I talk to people. And it's like, and the way I design them is that I want kids in school to like, I want the teachers to turn on my live streams. And like for 20, 30 minutes a day, I'm going to teach the American people about something in terms of like the government and politics. I'm just going to talk about something.
Oh, interesting.
And yeah, because it's hearts and minds. And I feel like if I was the president, I could actually change hearts and minds.
Cool.
Yeah.
And
you're going to get people calling you Big Brother because of that. But it'd probably be worth it.
No, and that's like, you don't have to watch. You don't have to watch.
Yeah.
It's just, I just want it to be a thing that I do. And then people start watching and they're like, whoa, President Jake actually, like, hey, tune into President Jake's live stream. He's playing Fortnite and talking about the advantages of socialism.
Talking about the issues.
And like, yeah, like
yes. Oh, man.
And I already know my slogan if I were ever to run for office. Why not me? Why not me?
Why not India?
Why not me? And that's what I would say at all my events. But nice. If I'm being like totally, if I'm being selfish, my answer is also astronaut.
Cool.
Yeah. But I would never want to be one of these people that like lived on Mars. Will, have you heard of this? The one-way trip?
Oh, yeah, I've heard of this. Yeah.
Yes. Okay. And I've always told people, I was like, I would sign up though. I would sign up for the one-way trip to Mars so that I could be in the history books. And people would know my name. They'd be like, wow, Jake went on the one-way trip to Mars. And then the second that my spacesuit, that boot touched that red Mars space dust, I would take off my helmet and die immediately. And everyone would wonder. And it would be the greatest bit in the history of humanity.
Funny. Oh man.
Not worth it for the bit. Not everything is worth it for the bit.
But listen, it's either in school they're gonna listen to my live streams, or in school they're gonna wonder why I lifted up my helmet.
Oh my god.
First man to die on Mars.
Yeah.
Nice. Oh man.
Oh god.
Okay, my last question for you is, what personal habit do you think it would really benefit you to take up / what is the next personal habit that you have a goal for?
Wow. That's a really good one.
You know, honestly, I feel like before the Viewer Digression podcast, I would have said like, I wish I was doing something like this.
Cool.
Yeah. And I'm like glad that we do this.
Yeah, you have an outlet now.
Yeah, and I think it pays off in a personal way, because I think sometimes just being able to talk and being able to think about this show is developing my ideas in real life.
Love it.
You know what I mean? It's
Totally.
it's paying back to me.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I'm glad that I do this. I'm glad that I do my potty breaks with Jake. Pottybreakwithjake.com.
Yes.
And I think the one other thing that I want to do, which I think when school ends and some responsibilities wrap up, is that I want to work out a little bit more, but I also just want to write things to have them. That's it. Yeah,
Cool.
That's what I'm feeling.
I think about like the having of the podcast.
Yeah.
That's so real though, that like so much stuff can occupy our minds. And like if you don't have a lot going on, or not even a lot, but just like something tangible going on, if you have that, you can think about that thing. Like you can spend your brain power and your like empty wandering mind thinking about the podcast and what you want to do, and like redesigning the logo and like little things. Yeah. That's real. That impacts your life.
That's true.
Yeah. Sarah, I'm glad you brought up that logo, because launching with this episode, you'll see on your screen the new logo for the Viewer Digression podcast.
Yes.
Yeah.
Very exciting.
Yeah.
Okay, Will, what is your habit?
Gosh, my habit. Honestly, I do need to practice the piano every day. I'm currently at like a practice every 3 or 4 days, and I really enjoy it. And it's just sitting in my dining room. So that's cool. what I would really prefer.
When did you start piano?
I about a year ago.
Whoa. Why did you get into it?
Oh, my dad is a musician, and he always wanted me to learn how to play piano, but he also always secretly wanted to learn to play it himself as well. But we never had one. And then one Christmas, I was like, we should just get a piano for Christmas.
Yeah.
And that's what we did.
I love that.
Yeah,
cool.
So I have it's a lot of fun. I feel like it makes me think about things differently, because I'm sitting there counting. I usually don't use much math in my life, but I'm counting the notes and whatnot. And it also makes the fingers strong, and it's good. So yeah.
You know, they have like a drug in development that like makes your brain more have more plasticity again. So you could like take it and like learn a language the same way a little kid could, or like learn to play the piano.
I don't like stuff like this,
Sarah.
This? No, I've heard of it.
I don't like it. Have you seen that TV show called Limitless? That's what it sounds like.
Yeah. Oh, I know that one.
Inspired by the
Bradley Cooper.
The Bradley Cooper movie. The Bradley Cooper movie, dude. Take that pill.
I thought we were talking about the Bradley Cooper.
No, there's also a TV show that was.
Yeah, the movie was first.
Dude, the TV show was good.
Was it? I never watched it.
Oh, the TV show was good. I was devastated when they canceled it, dude. It was way better than the movie.
You know what I always think about with the plasticity drug, though? I'm like, but then what if you take it and you're like practicing your piano, and then like something horrible happens to you, and then you have like childhood trauma?
Yeah.
There's just too many variables.
Because it sticks with you too hard.
Yes, exactly. Yeah.
Don't have somebody break into your house or have some terrible national tragedy go down.
Totally alone. Like no one can be around you, just to be safe.
Oh my God.
Oh man.
All right.
Yeah.
Sarah, thank you so much for dropping by the Viewer Digression Pod.
Thank you for having me.
This was great.
Questions.
I hope the friends and fans feel like they know you on a deep level now.
Cool. I think this was perfect too, because Will and I are about to be out here asking people if they want to come on to the Viewer Digression Pod.
It's a lot of fun.
Share with us something to watch, review it together, finally get some pushback.
Yeah.
Probably talk about Bridgerton some more.
Yeah.
You know, who knows?
Some Star Wars. Oh,
but Sarah, before I let you go here, is there anything, you know, you've watched every episode of the Viewer Digression Pod. You've been with us this whole time. Is there anything you wanna put your stake in here? Anything you wanna join the discourse?
I also didn't like Bridgerton.
Thank you very much.
And I wanted to.
Yeah.
So bad.
We both wanted to.
Yeah, we wanted to.
Episode 1, we were hype.
Yeah.
Sometimes you just need quality from stuff. Like sometimes you do.
Yeah.
I guess the only thing I would say is that I really enjoyed the Snyder Cut, and I'm definitely in the Jake school of looking at Batman v Superman with a different mindset and appreciating it more because of that.
Cool.
Yeah.
Thank you, Sarah.
You're welcome.
Wow. Sarah, I'm going to let you go now if you would like.
See you, Sarah.
Fantastic.
Thanks for pulling up.
Wow. Our first guest.
Yeah, that was great.
Yeah. Well, I had a lot of fun with that.
Honestly, I was scared about those questions, but it went way better than I could have imagined. Like, I thought it was going to go well, but it went great.
No, totally smooth sailing. Well, before we go, I want to share in light of our Jolly updates recently.
Yeah.
I just want to mention something that really got in my head. And this is part of the, the contemporary discourse right now. So I think the friends or fans are be like, oh, Jake's got a take on this, really set him off right for the end of the episode. I was watching the newly released, you know what? Never mind. Let me. I want to
save it.
No. I want to set this up for you, Wil, in a specific way.
Okay.
So, I've got a Marvel superhero sitting on a therapist's couch, and they're talking. And at one point, the therapist pulls out their little notepad and starts scribbling in it. And the character says, "Oh, you're gonna do that therapist thing where you scribble in the notebook while I'm talking? Like it's really annoying. You're really gonna do that?" Now, Wil, based on you've seen most, if not all, of these MCU movies. So based on that, who is saying this?
I've seen this scene.
Oh,
but I never would have guessed it was Bucky.
Well, it cheesed me off so much. It cheesed me off, Wil, because I watched that scene and I was like, Sarah said it best. She goes, all television is the same. And I was like, whoa, dude. It literally was like ripped out of Modern Family. It could have been any character. Oh, it drove me nuts.
No, that's a great point. That wasn't the action in that episode was great, but that moment, some of the characterizing moments, I was like, I don't really know about this, but dude, we'll see.
And the only reason I'm bringing it up is that I feel like I'm in like a post Snyder Cut world right now. We just reviewed all these movies, and my brain is like wired a specific way. So whatever we watch next, I've got to have like a clean reset. I've got to really like let my mind go. Yeah.
No,
So Wil, we don't know what we're watching next week yet.
We sure don't.
Okay. Man. But we will keep our social media channels informed. I think we're going to see if we can maybe get another guest on here, ask them to bring something that we'll watch or read or whatever.
This is true.
And some more surprises coming to the Viewer Digression Pod in the future. So I guess this is it. Wil, is there anything you want to say to the friends or fans before we let them go?
Just that we're cooking up some stuff. I think you guys are gonna like it. They're percolating, and I think that's it. So as always, sending hugs to all my lightning bugs.
We will see you next time.